Hey, everybody. Welcome back to season 2 of the Royalty Room podcast. We are so excited to be here. We have amazing guests lined up, amazing things in store, and we are right here at the podcast place in LBC. Shout out Long Beach and shout out Solomon. Thank you for keeping us running
Absolutely.
and bringing it back for round 2. Today, we have an artist who came all the way to LA from my home of Orlando. What the heck are you doing in LA?
We got a lot to do in LA. I'm mainly out here for the BET Awards, and then I have an on the radar performance. I don't know if interview too, but I know performance for sure. Those are like the two main things, and then I know I'm gonna end up doing a lot of other
Everything
events.
else.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything we can do, we probably will end up doing.
Period. Well, we're outside. It is summertime. It's officially like almost 100 degrees every
You
day in
wouldn't
LA.
guess it by our clothes, honestly.
Right. We look like we're in the middle of the winter, but I guess we're from Florida, so
Nah,
it's
exactly
still
that.
cold in LA for us.
I saw it was like it'll be 60s and low. I was like, man, let me pack a couple.
It's horrible. I complain about the weather every single day, and people look at me like I'm stupid, but I'm just like, I'm from Florida. Like,
I love it
give
though.
me grace.
I love it. I definitely.
The cold at night?
Yeah.
Eh.
Oh yeah.
I could deal without it. I personally believe like I should be in a bikini 99% of my life. So Florida, I guess, is the right place.
Do your thing,
for
absolutely.
that.
Go crazy.
Not out here. Rob Linx. First of all, you just dropped a new EP.
The Mood Swings EP, it is out everywhere. Super excited. 6 songs. They need to hear that. It's
6 songs. It came out on May 6th. And I honestly, like, I listened to it the whole way here, just ran back through it. It was a lot of mental health stuff.
yeah, it's very very emotional, very honest, very raw. But I think that creates like an authenticity that the listener can relate to. And for me personally, growing up when I was listening to artists, it was that authenticity, that feeling that you got from it that always stuck with me and like shook me to my core almost, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think it's what the people really want, to really feel that connection.
Who influenced you like that?
So my number one, like I always, every single interview, like if you've seen any interview from me, you probably J. Cole. He was my favorite artist growing up. He was the first one.
We're keeping him, everybody. We're keeping him. I don't need to bring out my tattoo every episode, but it's
Oh, you
here.
got a J.
Cole,
that's
Cole
tough.
World.
That's super
Okay.
tough. Now that was the first artist that, like, downloading YouTube to MP3 every single song I could, learning the lyrics, like singing along to everything. That was really like my first favorite artist.
I love that. Okay. And is that like you were growing up, you're in Broward County, Florida, you're listening to J. Cole. What made you want to get in the booth yourself?
So J. Cole for sure. And then artists like Kodak, Ski Mask, X were all coming up
Big Florida.
in Broward while I was growing up in Broward. So it was really cool. And me and my friends started freestyling like OD. And I'm probably not as sick as I used to be, but we used to freestyle. Like instead of going to parties, we'd just hop in the car smoking freestyle for
I
like,
love
hours
that.
on end. And it turned into me writing notes out of my phone, which turned into like actual lyrics, kind of building up songs. And then shout out to D Seti, a good friend of mine who's an artist. He was the first person to be like, yo, I have a show in a month. I need someone to be up there with me.
Wow.
Whatever the thing you're showing me right now, hop in the booth, record it. I'm gonna hop on it. Let's do it. And that kind of like set it off for me
Yeah.
right there.
Wow. That's a good friend. He saw something.
A very absolutely real one. D Seti, man.
Also from
Real
Broward?
one. Nah, he's from New York actually.
Okay.
Yeah, from the Bronx.
I feel like since I've been in LA, I'm going on 5 years now. I feel like the most people that I meet and get along with are from Florida and from New York. I don't know what it is, but we're like
I feel like
locked in.
that's in the whole US, I feel like that's like the top 3, you know what I'm saying? New York, Florida, California is just such unique people and like crazy environments, and
Crazy people.
It molds beautiful people.
Okay, I like that. I like the positivity. There are a couple of songs that I wanted to highlight. But when I was on your Instagram, I saw something and it said "Good girls love material things."
Yeah.
Is that a past song? Is that something you came up
No,
with?
that
Tell me
is
about that.
So that shout out the beat on that was like what inspired that whole kind of you heard the album, it was very raw, very emotional, very
Mhm.
sad. And when I heard that beat, it kind of took me out of that writing place and just put me in a really fun spot. Like the words came
Ooh.
to me instantly. It's actually what I plan on performing for on the radar. It's kind of the goal is to kind of push that for the back half of summer as a summer single. And I think it's just a really fun song. And like that first line, "Good girls love material things." I was like, "Yo, that is
And
fucking
do.
that shit is nah,
And
absolutely."
do.
I feel like it's something girls could like clap along, sing
Yep.
along to, like go crazy for. So
I'm excited. That like literally is the first thing that caught my eye outside of where your bio speaks about mental health, which I want to talk about. But that was the first thing that I was just like, "Ooh,
nah, it's
I want to
definitely a
hear more."
different side of me, and I think that's what's great about being an artist is that you don't really have to box yourself into.
Never.
It's good to like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but expand upon it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a sad person all the time. I have times where I party, I have fun, and I think this song is like a perfect encapsulation of that little more wild side of myself.
Okay. I love that. I was gonna say most people, they're gearing up for releases this summer or have already released this summer, and it's summer, we outside, turn up, hot girl, all this
Oh
and all
yeah.
that. But it's nice to have a project because there's some sad girls this summer. Like
Not hey,
I
absolutely.
was this close to being one, but we ain't got time for that. It's some sad girls. Mental health is real. Life sucks a lot of the time. So it's nice to have something that we can kind of like go to and relate to regardless. I don't care if it's summer. I'm still going through like real
Nah,
life,
absolutely. It's
you know.
I hope the album can be like kind of like a comfort zone for people.
Exactly.
And don't live in that comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I want you to play the album as much as you can, but um, I think I think it's very real, and I think that's what I love about it so much is that like you're not always gonna be happy all the time,
Yeah.
and like it doesn't matter what season it is, life can hit you out of nowhere, and I think I'm making music for people who are kind of experiencing that.
Yeah. What is your favorite song on the project?
So I would say it really like gets mixed, but I think overall throughout like the whole since I even made the song, the course of the project, I think Love Note is my favorite song. A lot of people like gravitate towards it crazy. Shout out to Smith Beats, the producer. The second I heard the beat on that one,
It's
all the
dope.
words just came flying out of me.
Wow.
And yeah, that song is just I think it's powerful to me in terms of like the story all throughout, the flow, the cadence of it. That's actually when I did my media run in New York, all the performances that I had, I did Love Note. And they were like a little annoyed, not annoyed, but my manager was like, "Yo, like you got to do another
Do
song
something
off the
else.
album." Like I was like, "I got
What you
you."
say? If it's broke, don't fix
Nah,
it. That's the
absolutely,
one.
absolutely.
And I was gonna say that's my favorite song too. And I heard you talking about a crazy girl. So is this life experience that we're speaking into the pen or what?
Definitely, absolutely. But I say, so the question I always get with any of my songs is like, "Who is it about? Who is
Right.
this girl?" And honestly, I would say it's more like compilations of I'm taking bits and pieces from different relationships and different experiences, sometimes even like friendships, and just melding all into one kind of thing. So I would say the album isn't particularly about one girl, but just like bits and
Life.
pieces. Yeah, life, different like relationships that I've gone through.
Okay. That's not I just recently found out that there was a diss track about me out there.
What?
Um,
Who made it? That's
I mean, if
crazy.
we're still thinking about me in 2024, just say
A
that.
guy
But
made a diss track about you?
yes.
That's
And it's crazy because
crazy.
I didn't even hear it. I saw the lyrics posted. I was like, wait a minute.
Nah,
No, 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 no,
that's
no, no,
now.
no.
I wrote a diss track about a girl once, but I was 16. I had no music intentions or career at the time. I was just like I said, I was freestyling back in the day. So I like threatened to drop it on SoundCloud, but I never.
It's funny. So it's funny you say that. Whenever I was in high school in Orlando, these two boys wrote a diss track about me. And it was like a compilation of every rumor that ever happened in
Oh
like the
no.
entire city. And I got home from school that day, um, the day of the release
Oh
on
my
YouTube,
god.
and my
Oh,
dad
they put
beat
it on you.
my ass. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
nah. So
you
he got you
think that
roped and they dissed you?
I dealt with so much that day at school, and then I got home and I got my ass beat for getting roasted, and I'm just like,
Nah, that's great. I would
it
be
wasn't my fault.
nah, that's a in shambles moment right there. That's
It was bad. It was bad. It's no longer around, so don't go digging it up. It doesn't exist. And me and one of the folks have reconciled, and he's one of my closest friends from
hey, that's
Orlando.
growth,
So
bro. We love that. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. But as far as your focus on mental health, like what does that mean to you, and where did it come from? What made you want to get into that
So
platform?
I say from like an early age, probably when I was like 12, 13 years old, I had like a lot of anxiety, confidence issues within myself. I didn't love myself. And like I looked at myself and I hated who I saw.
That's the name of one of your songs.
Love myself. I was thinking I literally thought that like the second I said it. But yeah, I had so much anxiety and it would cripple me all the time. And I think it's not to say it's a good thing, but I think it is a good thing to like go through that young because you learn how to deal with it a lot better. Because as you get older, like you realize like that shit becomes a part of the routine, dealing with anxiety, managing stress.
Yep.
So I'm glad I got to learn how to do it at a young, early age. But it was I think my parents had like a lot of they dealt with depression themselves. They were very depressed. They lived in Romania growing up,
Oh
and
wow.
it was back when like communism was crazy strict. Like everyone had like assigned jobs. They were waiting in like lines for food and stuff like that. Like
Wow.
they had like broken homes. And so I think they and let me not like say anything negative about them, but I think they did kind of carry some of that stress and anxiety with them still. Um and I just seen what that does to people and how it can affect people and how it can break them down. I think it could either be your strength or your worst enemy. And so what I'm
Mm.
trying to do, like especially with the album and everything, I'm trying to make it my strength. If I can be open and honest and vulnerable with the world, it's like who could put me down outside of that? Because I'm giving you all my flaws, all my insecurities. And so I think it's good to have those kind of confrontations like with yourself, with your own mental health, because the end of it, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I'm saying? So it's really brick by brick, I'm building this wall in my mind that I can't let anything stop me and break me down. Even like I have bad last night before we even flew, like I barely slept. I had hella anxiety, but the second I hopped in the lift on the way to the airport, I just felt calm. And like
Wow.
everything I've done, like in LA, I'm just going, I'm ready. Like there's no time to think. It's just I can only do.
That is very LA. That is a very LA thing. There's no time to think about anything else. But that's great. I'm glad you made it here safely. I'm glad that you're here for the BET Awards. What is so I grew up in Orlando, but I've been in LA ever since I got into, this entertainment industry and my career. What is the scene like in Orlando? Like I'm very
So
interested.
there are a lot of talented artists in Orlando. Like a lot of people really wouldn't guess, but there's so much talent brewing in Orlando. I think the reason why it's not more known or like as a hub of music per se, because it's a lot of there's not too much collaboration and cooperation with each other. People like kind of try to sneak this, tear each other down. No one really wants to like work together and build something like a
Right.
big collective. And I think a lot of people just don't take it too seriously too. They're trying to I don't like and not to say that there's one right way, but I don't really like go and do shows like in Orlando or nothing like that. I don't do anything in Orlando, honestly.
Mhm.
I I've been traveling to Atlanta, LA, Miami, New York all year, just like trying to get my face around all these different platforms. But I think there are some big artists that have come out of Orlando and like Central Florida in general. I think if anything, it could be on one of them to like make Orlando a
No.
music hub.
Mhm.
If I got to be the one to do it, eventually when shit lines up for me and I get to that
Period.
spot, I'll gladly do it. But yeah, I think there just needs to be like when I go to Atlanta, for example.
It's
There's so
very
many different
embracing.
events embracing you. I'm like a completely different style of music than they usually have in Atlanta. It's a lot more like trap music out there for sure and rap. And every time I go to an event, I do some sort of performance. It's so much love and so much just kindness, which is it's just a beautiful thing. You could be up here, you could be down here. They'll still be in the same room. They will still shake your hand. Like they will treat you like an equal. You know what I'm saying? Where South Florida, I think it's a little. I think in Miami, people are a little more like snobby.
Yeah.
Even when they're not there, it's the people that really aren't even there that are snobby, which is crazy to me. Um,
I feel like Florida, everybody's like to themselves and wants to do everything on their own. In LA, it's mostly like fake. Like, "Oh, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's meet." Da, 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 da." No, it never happens. Never like and it's just weird like fake competition and then in Atlanta I haven't really been there too much, but that's all I hear is it's like a very
Atlanta, I
collaborative and
love
like
Atlanta.
open
It's
environment.
awesome.
Huh,
It's awesome.
interesting. The statistics are telling me the same thing, so I might have to check it out. But um as far as like would you envision yourself going to Atlanta permanently or going to LA
I would
permanently?
not mind living in Atlanta for some time. I love Florida, so I don't know that I'll ever really move out of Florida. But I wouldn't mind like spending like a month out in Atlanta, 2 months out in Atlanta. Maybe LA. This is like my first like thing that I've done in LA so far. This is literally like stop number one. So
Okay.
we'll see how LA treats me. But I'm definitely excited to be out here. I'm excited for the food out here and everything too. Um, but I think Atlanta, I could definitely spend some time out there
Yeah.
for sure.
I definitely don't blame you. That was my other like thought. It was either LA, DC, or Atlanta, and I can't do the cold. Cold is just not an option for me. So anything north of Georgia was just out
Atlanta
already.
is like it's hot, and like
Yeah.
being from Florida, I didn't like. I thought it would be colder. I remember when I went back in, I think it was October, September. I brought hoodies, jackets, like jeans, the whole like. Because I'm
It's like
thinking I'm gonna
90
be
degrees.
cold. Oh my god, I'm sweating at every single like. I have vlogs up from then, and you probably just see me straight sweating. And I had like, I've been like taking a lot better care of myself. I was like 30 pounds heavier back like when that first Atlanta trip. So I just had all this extra mass on me. I'm lugging around sweating.
Honestly, like I'm listen. We'll go visit Atlanta, but if it's July or August, we might have to put that on pause. Like any other time of the year, I don't even know if I can do it. They call my dad the first time I ever went there. He calls it Hot Atlanta. I don't know if that's a thing,
Nah, I've heard
but
Highlander for sure.
yeah.
They got it in songs too.
Okay, okay, you're not wrong. But going back, I keep wanting to circle back to the project. I also heard you talk about broken child. And I feel like you touched on it a little bit, like where you said your parents came from. First of all, you're Romanian.
Yeah, so that's my ethnicity. I'm Romanian. Both my parents, born and raised in Romania, and
Wow.
they fled when they were 20 years old, all across Europe. And so eventually, after like years of applying, my dad got into school in Canada. My mom followed shortly after, and I was born in Canada.
Wow. That's a like crazy story. I can't even imagine what it was like for them growing up in that environment. At 20, some people can still call that a child, you know?
What?
Um
I say my story starts with their story because like there's so much that happened before I even like, what I'm saying, got here. And it kind of when you have immigrant parents, you kind of live differently, you know what I'm saying? You have different values, different morals and ethics. And I kind of had to teach myself like a lot of what's popular, like anything pop culture, what's cool per se, like how I should dress. Like I had zero help with all of that, you know what I'm saying? I adopted I guess my swag, my aura
you
from
had to
like
find
just
some juice.
exactly that though. But I'm kind of grateful because I feel like I didn't, what I'm saying, I'm genuinely, truly me. I didn't have to, I wasn't like, hey, you're gonna do this. Like I wasn't. I was kind of like let free in the sandbox just to
Yeah.
do whatever.
Well, you clearly have seemed to figure it out. You're an artist. You're doing a lot of amazing things. You're performing at BET weekend. And June actually was just men's
Yeah,
mental
men's
health
mental
month.
health, absolutely.
So what do you outside of music? I know it's very therapeutic, being in the booth and writing music, but what do you do for yourself outside of the music scene to cater to that inner child?
I'd say I'm trying. It's more kind of filling in those blank spaces. So like, you don't want to just be sitting around thinking like for hours on end because that just turns into you like melting into yourself. So I try to keep busy, surrounding myself with people I love, even if I like feel like I get moody sometimes. The album's called Mood Swings. Some days I don't want to talk to anyone, but I still go to my best friends. I have both my AirPods. I might not say a word to him, but we'll go get a workout and do whatever. Taking care of myself, a lot better care of myself, working out, trying to eat right, just focusing on me and taking care of me, you know what I'm saying? And doing what I gotta do. I think when you have like a goal in mind, it can carry you so far out of that, like deep, what seems like a abyss.
Mhm.
It can just pull you out and kind of show you a light and be like, yo, like work towards this. You know, I know you're upset right now. I know you're feeling down, but like you got something to do. You feel me? You don't got time to soak around. And so
Right.
that's kind of how I try to play it myself.
Okay. And what are some of those goals over the next like year, 5 years that you want to accomplish? Like collaboration shows.
Definitely collaboration. So right now, I'd say like the immediate goal is I'm just trying to put my face, Rob Linx, EP Mood Swings on every as many platforms as I can get, put my face in as many rooms or as many events as I can. Just trying to build up that kind of the brand familiarity, and just open myself up to more ears. Further down the line, I really want like a big collaboration with someone in the industry. I'm still trying to figure out who exactly I want. I have like a couple of ideas, but I think I really want like a girl feature.
Mhm.
I think I can make. I never done a song with a girl, and I think I can make like something beautiful
I
if I
think
have
it
like
could
the
be a
right
great
female.
compliment. Yeah.
And so,
Like
um,
a BB Rexa or something.
yeah, she's fire. I fuck with her. I fuck with her for sure.
Do people tell you that you remind them of someone in your music? Because it's been driving me insane trying to figure out
So
who it is.
the one that I always get first is Post Malone. That's like the very first one that I get.
Okay.
Um,
I can see it.
honestly, thing is because like I'm a like kind of melodic white boy that kind of like you know what I'm saying traverses between pop and I can do some kind of melodic rap. But he's like damn near one of the biggest artists in the world. So like if I don't take that as a compliment, there's something wrong with me. You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
definitely a
Like
compliment.
that's a huge compliment. Shout out to Post. Um, yeah, Post. I've gotten some people say kind of like Khalid a little bit. But he has like a much heavier voice.
Send
Yeah,
location.
yeah. I love when that song came out. I love that song. That whole project.
Drop a pin.
Oh my god.
I don't know. For some reason, like I was getting because my musical background is so diverse. Like my grandfather was in rock bands from when my mom was born all
Oh,
the
that's
way
fine.
until yeah, like he was lacing up his boots for a show whenever rest in peace, he passed away. But like that was his thing. And we have a band room in the house. So it's like, oh, you thought you were sleeping when you were 7? You're not.
Oh, that's
You're not
nah. That's
sleeping. You're
crazy.
you're with the band. And so I was thinking like along the lines of kind of like Stained,
Okay.
or something in that genre, like just like your vocals. They're very strong and very powerful.
No, that's fine. I
Yeah,
never got that. That's
they make you want to
fire.
listen. They make you
Hell
want to
yeah.
listen. And speaking of, I feel like I've touched on all of the songs, but Happier with You. Um, can you talk to me about that? Because I just had a revelation yesterday that I would rather ignore everything going on my life to take care of what other people need, and like my escape from my own life is doing things for other people and making myself
I
happy.
definitely that's something I definitely relate to extremely. I'm big on and like I say I try to take care of myself, like focus on myself, but I got such a big heart. I love people. I love making people happy. I love making people laugh. I love helping people. So I think happier with you specifically is more kind of a and it doesn't even it's definitely more about a relationship, but I think you can listen to it from a perspective where it doesn't even have to be about a relationship, just uh people like that make you happy. And then further, sorry, I feel like I'm going all over the
No, go
place,
ahead.
but
It's
um
your show.
um that song in particular I feel like is it's kind of about having that one person that, like, even if everyone else doesn't think it's like for you guys, it's like, how can you tell us what is for us? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And because one of the lines I have is like, your friends, they don't love me, they love to bend the truth. Definitely had some situations where, and I think it goes both ways because I think I've had like my friends not be in love with who I'm in love with, and then
Mhm.
vice versa, the girl's friends like not really a fan of me.
What'd you do to that girl? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We need a whole nother episode for that one.
Okay, we'll have a part 2. So, hmm, I feel like, damn, BB Rexa, Stained, Post Malone, like Romania. I thought that I was coming to sit down with a Latino artist.
Oh, that's
Do you get that all the time?
I get that pretty decently. A lot of people think I'm either like Puerto Rican or Cuban.
Mhm.
Um it's funny.
I
I
would
used
have
to
guessed Puerto
I
Rican.
used to have like I used to be pretty tan too. And so I wouldn't say I'm pale, but I used to be like really tan to like the point where my friends' moms, when I first meet them, will like introduce themselves in Spanish. And like especially living in South
Automatic,
Florida,
yeah.
yeah. And I'd be like, no habla español, señora, or whatever. And they'd be like, oh, but you say it with the accent. And I'm like, nah, I
A
don't really.
little bit, I'm not gonna lie. You sound just as Spanish as I
I
do.
love the culture and the girls and the food, so it's
I mean, I can't say that you're wrong, on that one, but okay. I was going to ask you, like, what do you think is missing? This is the last question, and I'll let you take it wherever. What do you think is missing in between the music industry and the mental health of America? Like, is this do we need to change it? Do we need to fix it? Like, I feel like we're getting a lot of negativity from music lately.
so I feel like it's definitely that's a great question. I feel like I definitely want to shout out. There are some major artists who definitely are like contributing towards that like mental health aspect, like the Louis Capaldis.
Mhm.
Obviously like J Cole. Even like Drake really touches like a lot on like, even though he's kind of, you know, so you kind of looking at me like crazy when I said that.
Well, you said J. Cole and then you said Drake. I was waiting for the big
Oh
3 to
my,
drop.
nah, yeah, yeah. But
Don't kill me. I love the West Coast. I love the West Coast.
but I think it's what I really think it is. I think a lot of major labels are kind of more focused on like hits
Mhm.
and like that shock factor, and that's what everyone's trying to get these days.
Yeah.
It's a lot less, I feel like, genuine, authentic music that's out. Um, but there's also some people just don't like that style of music. Like I know some people who they don't like they know they give me kudos like I'm a talented artist, but like they would never listen to like my kind of music just because it's like when you listen to sad music, you're gonna feel sad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're gonna catch that emotion. And some people are like aren't in touch with their emotions enough, I feel like, to even want to listen to some. They'd rather like, and not to diss because I love trap and rap artists and stuff like that.
They'd
But
rather
like they'd
turn up.
rather like turn up, you know what I'm saying? Like be outside shaking ass or fucking talking about slide on this block with whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's valid too. And I don't think there's like you can't look at it like, oh well that's right and that's wrong. It just kind of is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everyone's so different and unique. And I think that's the beautiful thing about music is it's what you make it and it's what you take out of it. So what music is for me might not be what it is for you or for Solomon or anyone watching this right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I love about music.
Okay. That was not a bad answer. That was not a bad
It
answer
was
at
a great
all.
question. I was just trying to like
Music is what
navigate.
music is what you make it to yourself. Um, I want to first of all thank you for flying all the way
No, thank you for
from
having me.
Orlando to be here. I'm super excited to hear what's going on with your show on the radar. By the time you guys see this, the show will already be up. So I'll make sure to put all of the links to Rob Linx.
Yeah,
In the bio, make sure you follow him. What is your social media platform?
so on, I'm pretty sure it's the same for TikTok and Instagram. It's at Rob Linx, RobLinxx. So two X's at the end. Even if that's just the Instagram, I have a link tree in my Instagram for everything else. So
Period. If you don't have a link tree and you're an artist, get it together.
there's
It's basically your
yeah,
EPK.
there's so many different. Oh yeah, I never thought about it like that, but it really is.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's so many like who be like. There's so many different ones. Just pick one and put it in your bio.
But we gonna find you. Rob Links on all platforms. Mood Swing EP is out on all platforms. Where when can we expect some dope visuals?
I think this summer we're definitely gonna before the summer's over, we're definitely gonna lock in on one of the songs off the album to push and do a music video behind. And then we have a video already shot that is probably gonna come out around like late fall, just because that's more like it more feels like a late fall kind of song. But soon,
Okay.
soon for sure.
All right. Well, we are staying tuned. We're ready for all that you have to offer. Please, please, please don't ever stop bringing your positivity and your message. Sometimes we are sad and sometimes we need to tap into that. We need to stop avoiding our feelings and suppressing our emotions. And I think music is a really great place to dig deeper. Because once you hear that song or once you hear those words, it could trigger something like, oh, I never thought about that. So thank you for being here and thank you for the music that you're putting out.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys also for watching the Royalty Room podcast. You know where to find me. You know where to find the pod. It's at Legal Queen LA on all social media platforms. And this summer is heating up for sure. So see you next time.